and welcome to Small Gold's American Silver Eagle sales update for the month of November 2016. American Silver Eagle sales topped 3 million in November. U.S. Mint sold 3,061,000 American Silver Eagle coins in November. That was down 20% from the 3,825,000 sold last month in October, and down 37% from the 4.824 million sold a year ago in November. However, American Silver Eagle sales in November 2016 were the fifth highest November total in the coin's 30-year history. The 4.824 million sold last November were the largest amount ever in November. We'll have some charts when we get to the bottom showing the comparative sales in November, some charts on annual sales, and then also month by month sales, and then we will talk about the sales, the gold to silver sales ratio, the silver to gold sales ratio at the US Mint. But before we get into that, I want to update you on the American Gold Eagle sales that were reported on yesterday and did a podcast. The U.S. Mint revised their November sales figures for American Gold Eagles upwards. We had reported that they had said November they had sold 110,000 1-ounce American Gold Eagles, which was the largest amount all year. They added another 19,000 to that total, making it 129,000. And they also added another 1,000 ounces of gold in the fractional reserve, making it an additional 20,000 additional ounces sold in the month of November in the form of American Gold Eagle coins. Tomorrow we'll also have a report on American Gold Buffaloes. Be sure to check that out. Point being is that gold really is taking off, and the silver sales are good, but the gold sales in comparison in the last 3 months have taken off, and we'll go through some charts as we go further into the podcast on that changing dynamic. So year to date, the American Silver Eagle coin sales are 37,461,500, and the silver to gold sales ratio was just 23.7 to 1 in November, meaning the U.S. Mint only sold, even though they sold 3 million American Silver Eagles, they only sold 23 times more Silver Eagles than they sold 1-ounce Gold Eagles. Now, through October, actually it's through November, sales of American Silver Eagles are 16.1% lower than 2015 sales through November, which were 44,666,500 through November 2015. And as you can see, so far through November, we've sold 37,461,000, 5 million, more than 7 million short of last year's number at this time. Here's how we've done so far this year in sales of American Silver Eagles by month. You can check it out. We started out with about 6 million. Then we had those periods of time. We had the 4 million sales per month, and then kind of falling off the table there in June, July, August, September, and then popping up last month, and then again this month with the 3 million. But the late surge is not enough to keep us or get us close to last year's record of 47 million, the year before's record of 44 million, or the year before that, which is 42 million. Probably won't get to 40 million this year, especially if they curtail sales in December altogether. Just a reminder, you can sign up for Small Gold, get your updates by filling in your email address there. It's free. I'll update you when and as blog posts come out that are important. They're all important, but I don't send out an email every time I do a blog post. I also do a week in review that recaps not only the top stories of the gold and silver stories of the week, but also whatever Small Gold covered during the week. So if you have limited time, you could just check out that once a week. That I do send out as soon as it's published, and it does come with a blog podcast. You can also donate to Small Gold via PayPal now. I've added a link. There's also links below the YouTube video where you can do that as well. If you appreciate the work we're doing, I appreciate the donations that have been coming in lately. Thank you very much. Let's continue on. Also, if you want to buy American Silver Eagles, if this update wets your whistle and you want to buy some American Silver Eagles, you could do so through the links below on the YouTube channel, also on the Small Gold site. There's a few more options. You could check out pricing and shipping if you do buy through Small Gold. Not recommending you buy anything, but if you do want to buy gold or silver, please buy it through Small Gold. I do get a small commission. Also, there is a new, I don't know what you guys think about it. I haven't really formed an opinion, but if you can let me know below, either on the YouTube or on the Small Gold, what you think of the new 30-year anniversary American Silver Eagle proof coin. I was a little irked that they didn't produce it earlier in the year, and then I thought they would do a design change. If you click on that link, you'll see all they've done. Now, you know what? I'll leave a note. I'll put a link below the YouTube on that coin as well. All they did was they engraved the ridge, and that's the first time that's been done on a American Silver Eagle coin. But to me, it doesn't. If you got to kind of look at the edge, it doesn't really smack of a 30-year anniversary coin. It just looks like they didn't know what else to do, and they figured that was the easiest thing they can do. I don't know. Let me know what you think of that. Now, as we mentioned, the 3,061,000 American Silver Eagles sold in November was the fifth best so far in November, but it was down from last year. Last month and last year, but it was up 83% from the 1.675 million sold in November. I'm going to skip this part here and let's take a look. You can read that. That is a history of what's happened during the year with sales of American Silver Eagles. There's always more content, obviously, on the website than there is on the YouTube, but time is limited. Now, if you see November Silver Eagles, this is the fifth largest sales number. You can see here basically only last year, 2011, 2013, 14. So basically, this is the fifth largest sales month. It was a good month, but it isn't the best. Okay, let's look at where we are with sales record. We're not going to get there. Last year was 47 million. This year we're 37.46 million. Now again, it's going to be the fifth best year ever, but it's not going to crack 40 million. You can see here in the chart though, we never really started getting over 30 million until 2011. Even in 2010, it was only 28.8 million. And that's because there was the people, if you've been following this for the last 10 years, the silver's really taken off starting around 2010, the sales. The sales at the U.S. Mint were always largely gold sales. It wasn't until the price took off in 2011 and then fell and continued to fall. People started to see the bargain in silver. There was a lot of analysis, talk, and I'd say even some hype about silver being worth far more than it is, and that the silver to gold sales ratio was unsustainable and that it had to return to a 16-to-1. I think that drove a lot of the sales. It was undervalued. There's no two ways about it. But silver always does poorer than gold when it goes down, and it does better than gold when it goes up. But there was a tremendous amount of interest in silver, and it did drive those sales ever since 2011. And when the crisis of 2008-9 hit, people went into gold. And I think we're starting to see the same thing happening in 2016. There's definitely a dramatic switch. We'll see a chart as we get down below showing how the shift is happening towards gold. Whereas a couple of years ago, even on a dollar amount, people were buying as much silver as they were gold. And that led Eric Sprott to say that's not sustainable. If the same amount of dollars keeps chasing silver at 70-to-1, that means they're buying 70 times more silver with the same dollars. Well, that's now changing. We're now seeing at the U.S. Mint is down to 23-to-1. Yeah, Silver Eagle premiums. Just a quick note on them. They are rising a bit, but there's nothing to be concerned about. They're not rising because there's a shortage of American Silver Eagles at this point. In fact, all the dealers have plenty of American Silver Eagles. Premiums rise when the price drops because there is a $2 per coin charge built in that the U.S. Mint charge its authorized purchasers. So that $2, when it's $20 a coin, makes it a 10% premium. But when it gets down to $10, that becomes a 20% premium. Then you do a sliding scale in between there. So the point is the price of silver has dropped in the last 2 months. So your premiums are going to rise just because of the law of small numbers. And you see that happen every year in gold, but for a different reason the premiums rise. That's because they start to become a little scarce because they haven't printed the new ones yet. That's not the issue this year. The issue this year, the reason the premiums have risen a small bit, is because the price of silver has dropped and you have to eat that premium up, that $2 premium that the US Mint charges. Now let's talk about the silver to gold sales ratio. You can see in 2008, 2009, they were selling 25, 22 times silver eagles to 1 ounce American gold eagles. And again, that's because my view is crisis. People go to gold, then they go to silver. Silver always plays catch up. But this year, what's happened? Sales of American silver eagles are 52% lower the last 5 months of this year than they were in the first 5 months of 2016. We had that blowout first half. Conversely, American gold eagle sales were up 13% during the past 5 months over the first 5 months of this year. So the gold sales are accelerating not only on an actual but on a comparative basis to silver. And we see now that the ratio this year is 47 to 1, even though we had that massive first half of the year silver sales. This number has been coming down. Let's look at where it's been during the year. So early in the year, it was 43 to 1 in April, 69 to 1 in May, 45 in July, 25 in August, 21 in September, 38 in October, 23 in November. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but in January, February, March, the number was much higher. And if you can see here, in 2014, it was 106 to 1. That really was making people say that this was unsustainable, the amount of silver being sold compared to gold. That has definitely shifted in the past year, but it's really in the last 3 months, it's really started to, 4 months, started to shift back towards gold. Here's your gold silver ratio for the last month. You can see at one point it's 67. This number has been around 70. It even was early, it was in the 80s early this year. I wouldn't get my hopes up too high that you're going to buy a house with 2 rolls of silver eagles because the silver is going to go to $1,000 an ounce. Silver has it's rare, it's valuable, it has industrial uses. But having said all that, doesn't mean that it's going to revert to some type of ratio of 15 to 1. It'll go up, and maybe it'll go up faster than gold will go up, but I'm not anticipating it to go in the direction a lot of the people who mine silver and sell silver are saying that it's going to go. I think that's it for the week. Yes, please consider making a small donation to Small Gold. Thank you for helping me out, and also subscribing to Small Gold. Follow us on Twitter. We do have Facebook, Google Plus. I do have email. You can check me out there, and also on Gab, the new social media platform. Again, if you're interested in buying gold or silver, I can do so through the site or at the links below. Thank you very much.